All right. Whenever you're ready.
Okay, so the mayor's called the meeting to order. On a roll call, Councilmember Joseph Lane.
Yeah.
Councilmember Maslach.
Here.
Councilmember Herrera.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Aaron Lane.
Here.
Mayor Rigoloso. Here. Okay, we have 5 ayes, which means a quorum is present for this regular meeting of the Garfield City Council being held today, which is Tuesday, March the 23rd, 2021. This meeting is being held in accordance with provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act and under guidelines set forth by the New Jersey Division of Local Government Services in an email dated March 12, 2020, and in accordance with the Executive Order 104 issued by Governor Phil Murphy, and in accordance with Local Finance Notice number 2020-21, issued September 24th, 2020, for remote public meetings held during the declared emergency. Adequate notice has been provided by mail, fax, and email to the officials of the newspapers and other interested parties, and by posting the meeting notice on the bulletin boards in front and back doors of City Hall on the city website. Special public notice was published in the March 20th, 2021 edition of the Bergen Record and Herald News newspapers, advising this meeting being held remotely, and the public was also directed to the city website for guidance in order to listen and watch and participate. Also, just want to say that all participants are muted during the meeting. Members wishing to make a comment during this remote meeting will be permitted to do so using audio or video technology under which this remote meeting is being held. Members of the public may submit written comments to the mayor and city council through the city website, email to look@garfield@j.org, or written letter to city clerk Andrew J. Look at City Hall 111 Howard Lane, Garfield, New Jersey 02026. Written comments must be received by 12 noon of the day of the remote meeting to be included in the meeting. Public comments will be read aloud along with the person's name and address during times designated during the meeting for public participation. The mayor and council reserve the right to pass over duplicative written comments. However, each duplicative comment shall be noted for the record with content summarized. A member of the public wishing to speak during the remote meeting shall state their name and address for the record prior to making the comments and will be limited to 2 minutes. Members of the public commenting during a remote meeting will not act in any manner to disrupt the meeting. Such a member of the public becomes disruptive during the meeting, the individual chairing the meeting shall mute or direct the meeting of the disruptive member, and warn that any continued disruption may result in the member being prevented from speaking during the meeting or being removed from the remote meeting. Conduct includes, but is not limited to, sustain inappropriate behavior such as shouting, interruption, and the use of profanity. Any member who continues to be disruptive after receiving a warning may be muted, while other members of the public are allowed to proceed with their comments. If time permits, the disruptive individual shall be allowed to speak. After all other members of the public are provided an opportunity to comment. If the individual disrupted, the individual may be muted and unmuted for the remainder of the remote meeting or removed from the meeting. At this time, if everyone would please rise and not to be on the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America.
for which it stands, one nation.
Indivisible and justice for all.
Clerk, please remain seated. Our city manager will offer us now a moment of silence.
Mr. Mayor, members of the governing body, Heavenly Father, we ask this evening that the city of Garfield be blessed in a very special way. This has been a year that like no other. We have risen to the challenge in many instances. Unfortunately, many have suffered personal losses. We pray tonight for the survivors. We pray for those who have passed on as a result of COVID, and we pray for relief from this pandemic. At this time, Mr. Mayor, I respectfully request a moment of silence in memory of those who have passed and in tribute to those who remain. Amen.
Sure. Can you make sure your mic is unmuted? I think it's muted. Maybe the other one. No, I'll tell you. Keep going.
Coronavirus update,
As of March, we have 400 cases as of today and 6 deaths. For the month of March 2021, total for the city of Garfield, a little over a year. This past March 11th was our 1-year anniversary. 2,615 residents with the COVID virus and 9 deaths. Things are turning around. People are getting vaccines on a regular basis. Our average, and people average of the amount of residents we have to the people that hit COVID, our average is about the state is averaging the municipality our size. So that's the good news, is that it's going down. Has been going down as of recent. Things are opened up. The events and sporting events and community events happening in the city of Garfield, and we hope that this is a trend that's going to continue move upward. But remember that you need to bring your business, you need to distance and know what you are doing, and you are outward and hanging around. Do not need another spike in this virus. That is a coronavirus update, and just keep everybody, like Tom said, keep everybody in the joints. Tom, report from city manager, please.
Okay, under the city manager's report, I would like to advise the governing body that the Passaic Valley Water Commission rate increase originally anticipated for April 1 will be pushed back to May 1. It is not a problem with the city. Unfortunately, the Passaic Valley Water Commission is doing a major upgrade of their software, and they're having a lot of trouble with it. So the water rate increase will not take effect until May 1, 2021. You have before you tonight a resolution to extend the emergency outdoor dining. Business applicants are encouraged to participate as they did in the past. Inspections will be done by myself, the building inspector, the zoning officer, the health inspector, and the deputy chief of police. The procedure will be just as it was last year. We encourage all restaurants to take advantage of the extension of the ABC permit, the alcoholic beverage control permit, allowing outdoor operation. The city council has endorsed it and supported it. We need to help our small businesses. So that resolution to continue the program this year is before you this evening.
Tom, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
The audio is horrible. I see that 2 people from the audience have commented, and Tom is a lot clearer than Drew and the mayor were, but I think because of how it's set up at City Hall, there's still feedback. I don't know why you guys are so far, but however your audio is set up in City Hall, it's ruining the audio for us.
It sounds good in camera.
How do we sound now? So,
I think we're getting some feedback with Romy's, but yeah, I think it's on Romy's because it keeps highlighting him.
Everyone who isn't speaking should be muted, but it's still extremely hard to hear Drew and Richie.
Okay.
Okay, that's a lot better. Following the last meeting, we did receive direction at that meeting from the Bergen County Animal Control people, and a notice was sent to all department heads regarding feral and stray cats, so that all complaints could be reported directly to Bergen County Animal Control as they had requested at the last meeting. I've had no complaints since that last meeting. Tonight, the biggest item you have before you is the presentation of the city budget. Please remember that this is the budget that we have prepared for introduction purposes. The budget does not reflect some additional cuts or some additional changes that will be made as a result of a meeting that we had, a small subcommittee, which included the deputy mayor, Mr. Rigatano, and myself. The budget tonight is really your worst case scenario. If you have a house which is assessed at $284,000, which is the average in the city now, the budget as introduced would provide for a 3.25% increase, or $96 per household. I've been in touch with Dr. Cosmano. Dr. Cosmano is working very hard on the school budget to keep it at 2%. So the budget before you this evening, I do ask your support. It is a sound budget. Unfortunately, the city of Garfield, like many other municipalities, was hit hard with COVID. Our revenue stream declined dramatically, and it is a result in part of the decline in the revenue stream that we come before you and ask for your support of this budget. The budget, though, I will point out, allows for the continuation of all current services. It allows for the continued employment of all of our current personnel. It allows the city to continue to operate without shortchanging our citizens. That's very important, especially in these times that government continue to provide the services that people rely on. So I ask your support of the budget this evening. Again, that's our major item. Any changes will be made over the next month, and then you will have a final form of budget that you will vote on in the last meeting in April. But I ask your support for the introduction so we can get it down to Trenton. We need to have it down to Trenton in order to be timely in our submission. Thank you. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Tom. We'll go over the minutes.
Okay, we need a motion in a second.
Can we get a motion to approve the minutes to including the March 2nd, 2021 minutes?
I motion.
Second.
Okay, motion by Councilmember Joseph Delaney, seconded by Deputy Mayor Aaron Delaney. On the roll call, Councilmember Joseph Delaney,
Aye.
Councilmember Maslach,
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Aaron Delaney,
Aye.
Mayor Rosa.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. Proceed with,
Resolutions.
okay, the very first resolution is one which introduces the 2021 municipal budget. As commented by the city manager just moments ago, the budget is introduced by council members Aaron Delaney, Councilmember Pavel, and I'm sorry, yes, that is true. Councilmember Herrera, excuse me, and Mayor Rigoloso. On the roll call, Councilmember Joseph Delaney,
Aye.
Councilmember Maslach,
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Aaron Delaney,
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. The budget is introduced. Next resolution. Okay, the mayor has asked me to read this resolution. Just, well, okay, we have a resolution declaring solidarity with Asian and Asian American community.
Okay, Councilman Maslach, put up a resolution on the agenda today, and I'm just going to read you a letter from the city of Garfield, so please be alert to the residents of the city of Garfield. Consistent with diversity in the city of Garfield, it is our responsibility as leaders to develop and support an unbiased environment that's truly welcoming for all residents. Please know that we are committed to order. The city of Garfield clearly affirms, in the words of Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., that injustice anywhere is a threat of justice everywhere. The mayor, city council, and city manager stand in solidarity with the Asian Pacific Islanders communities across the United States. Violence and hate have no place in the city of Garfield. We publicly denounce the violent acts committed the past week in Atlanta and towards the Asian communities in the United States. Garfield's Asian community makes up 2.3% of our total population. As governing body, we must call attention to these issues. No matter the size of the community, we must always support every resident in the city of Garfield. We signed this resolution declaring racism as a public health crisis. We stand in solidarity with the Asian community and denounce racism, xenophobia, intolerance in all forms. We urge residents of the city of Garfield to join us in solidarity with the Asian communities across the country as we achieve social justice for all who live and work and visit the city of Garfield.
Okay. The mayor's asked for a roll call on the resolution that we have before us. Councilmember Joseph Delaney,
Aye.
Councilmember Maslach,
Just want to thank everyone for their support in this resolution, and I vote aye.
Councilmember Herrera,
Aye.
Mayor Erin Delaney,
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
I vote aye, but Pavel, we didn't understand what you said. You broke in and out. Can you repeat it?
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone for their support in passing this resolution. I vote aye.
Oh, thank you, Pavel.
Okay, we have 5 ayes, the resolution is adopted. Proceed with the other resolutions.
Yeah, please.
We have a resolution which approves a person-to-person transfer of liquor license. It's Deja Vu Restaurant LLC. The resolution is signed by council members Rigoloso, Herrera, Erin Delaney, and Maslach. On the roll call, council member Joseph Delaney.
You know, I could barely hear you, Drew. You keep going in and out. Something over there is definitely wrong. All of a sudden I could hear you clear as a bell, and then you just nothing.
Does it?
Is this resolution number 85?
Yes.
All right, I vote aye.
Councilmember Maslach,
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Erin Delaney.
My vote is aye, but I concur with Councilman Delaney. I mean, I'm going to sound a little bit harsh, but we've been at virtual meetings for almost a year now, and you still can't get it right. And the audio is just horrendous this evening. Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes.
Hey, Richie didn't vote.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mayor.
I vote aye.
Okay, now we have 5 ayes.
But he's staying on top of it, Joe.
Okay, the next resolution is a liquor license transfer. It's person-to-person transfer involving La Bella Pizzeria LLC. The resolution is signed by council members Rigoloso, Herrera, Erin Delaney, and Maslach. On the roll call, council member Joe Delaney,
Aye.
council member Maslach,
Aye.
council member Herrera,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Erin Delaney,
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. The next resolution is one extending the emergency outdoor cafe ordinance. It's signed by council members Erin Delaney and Maslach. On the roll call, council member Delaney,
Aye.
Joseph Delaney, council member Maslach,
Aye.
council member Herrera,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Erin Delaney,
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. Next resolution is one which approves various vehicle sales businesses for the year 2021. It's signed by council members Herrera, Erin Delaney, and Maslach. On the roll call, council member Joseph Delaney,
I'm voting no.
council member Maslach,
Aye.
council member Herrera,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Erin Delaney,
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
No.
Okay, we have 3 ayes, 2 nays. The resolution is approved. Nick?
Drew.
Yes.
If they're going to be all yeses, you know what I'm saying? Or you don't know if that.
Is there any resolution that any of the council members are inclined to vote no on? That's listed on the agenda? That's what the mayor is asking.
Instead of reading each one of them individually, are we all?
I'm good with the block vote. I think it will make the meeting run smoother.
I agree.
Just read the titles. Rather the numbers, I mean.
Okay, I'm just looking here if there's any. If there's no objection, I'll take one roll call vote on all the resolutions listed on the agenda. Is that how we're going to proceed, Mayor?
Sure. I mean.
Okay, so it's-
There's nothing of anything that needs to be explained. It's grants to the Boys and Girls Club, YMCA. We're looking at, resolutions, DMR and Burgess. So it's everything is in order. And I think we have votes on everybody.
All right, so for resolutions number 89 to and including number 115, which have adequate signatures for a vote. There's no objection. We will take one roll call on all those resolutions. Councilmember Joseph Delaney.
You know, I'm reading over all the ordinances right now, Drew. You know, to make sure I don't want to,
Okay,
all right, can you come back to me?
sure.
Go down the
Councilmember,
road.
Council,
Drew, can you just go from 89 to 109? I think Mr. Lammer would like to explain 109.
okay. So, well, I guess go to 108 so he could
108, I
explain.
apologize, yes.
Is that okay, Mr. Delaney?
Still reading, continue with the other people.
All right, so as the mayor has indicated, we're talking about resolution number 89 to and including number 108. So we'll take one roll call vote on all those resolutions. So Councilmember Joseph Delaney asked to come back to him. So Councilmember Maslag,
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Aaron Delaney,
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso,
Aye.
and we have Councilmember Joseph Delaney.
Hi, Drew.
Did he say aye?
I said aye.
Okay, just double checking, sir.
Will you double check with Richie?
I didn't hear anything.
Okay, we have 5 ayes on those. So as the mayor has indicated, I believe that our special labor counsel, John Lavin, would like to explain resolution number 109.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So Resolution 109 is being put before you in an effort to wrap up the police department or the new police station project. In resolving some of the issues with respect to the general contractor, Two Brothers Construction, the city has become aware of approximately 20 subcontractors who have not been paid their full balances on the contract. And we are in agreement with Two Brothers Construction that in lieu of releasing payment for this matter to Two Brothers, in which would flow through to these subcontractors, the city will pay these subcontractors directly upon those subcontractors' execution of the relevant closeout documents with Two Brothers, as well as a specific workout closeout document that I have prepared and is attached to the resolution to each one of those subcontractors. The resolution asks that the CFO execute or issue checks to the subcontractors, which I will personally hold in escrow at my office, pending receipt of the closeout documents, which only then will they be released. The total amount of these checks will be deducted from any amount to be paid to Two Brothers Construction on the contract balance, as well as any further settlement we reach with Two Brothers Construction. Any questions? I'd be happy to explain anything, any other intricacies.
Thank you, Jay. Drew.
Okay, the resolution that the special counsel described is signed by Council members Herrera, Maslag, and Rigoloso. On the roll call, Council member Joseph Delaney,
Aye.
Council member Maslag,
Aye.
Council member Herrera,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Aaron Delaney,
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. If there's no objection, we'll take one roll call vote on the balance of the resolutions, which would be number 110, 2, and including number 115. Hearing no objections, I will proceed on one roll call vote. Councilmember Joseph Delaney,
Aye.
Councilmember Maslag,
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Aaron Delaney,
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. Proceed with bills and claims. Okay, resolved by the City Council of the City of Garfield that the following bills, number 2269, 22271, covering Dog Trust Fund and Trust Other, totaling $14,318.40, and the current fund reserve totaling $44,225.21. and the current fund totaling $3,518,294.12, and the water fund reserve fund $48,779.83, and the water fund totaling $34,391.55, and the general capital fund totaling $3,307.00, and the water capital fund totaling $13,587.00 per attached computer list dated March 19, 2021. Be ordered paid, and the proper officers are hereby authorized to issue checks for same, provided there are funds in the respective appropriations. Be it further resolved that the action of the mayor, city clerk, and city treasurer in issuing checks and payment on ratification list, which includes 35 items prior to the meeting, be ratified. This bills and claims resolution is offered by council members Aaron Delaney, Herrera, Maslag, and Rigoloso. On the roll call, council member Joseph Delaney,
Aye.
council member Maslag,
Aye.
council member Herrera,
Aye.
deputy mayor Aaron Delaney,
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. Bills and claims are approved. Proceed with ordinances, Mr. Mayor.
Please.
Okay, the following entitled ordinance was introduced at a meeting held on January 26, 2021. It was duly published. Copies were posted on the bulletin boards in City Hall and the front and back doors of City Hall. Copies were made available to the general public, and having complied with the law, the city council proceeded with their public hearing, which was duly advertised on February the 13th, 2021, at which meeting the ordinance was tabled, and the city council can now proceed with final passage. This is bond ordinance to authorize the making of various public improvements by and for the water utility of the city of Garfield in the county of Bergen, state of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $580,000 to pay the cost thereof, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. Mr. Mayor, this ordinance, as we just indicated, already had a public hearing, so we could proceed with final adoption.
Please proceed.
Okay, on adoption, Councilmember Joseph Delaney,
Aye.
Councilmember Maslag,
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Aaron Delaney,
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. The ordinance is adopted. The following entitled ordinance was introduced at a meeting held on January the 26th, 2021. It was duly published. Copies were posted on the bulletin boards in City Hall. Copies were also posted on the front and back doors of City Hall. Copies were made available to the general public, and having complied with the law, the public hearing was held on February the 23rd, 2021, at which meeting the ordinance was tabled, and the city council can now proceed with final adoption. I don't know if you.
Mayor, if I may, we're still working on it. We got an ordinance from Jerry Wallace, an ordinance from Lodi with regards to their auto shops, how they handle it. So I believe we still have some work to do on this ordinance. So if we can, I'd like to table it again.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Joseph Delaney to lay the ordinance on the table.
I'll second it.
Okay, seconded by Mayor Rigoloso. On the roll call on the motion, Councilmember Joseph Delaney,
Aye.
Councilmember Maslag,
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Aaron Delaney,
Sorry, aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
I'm glad that we're working on this ordinance. You know, this is long due. Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. The motion is, the
Tabled.
ordinance is tabled. The following entitled ordinance was introduced at the meeting held on January 26, 2021. It was duly published. Copies were posted on the bulletin boards of City Hall and the front and back doors of City Hall. Copies were made available to the general public, and having complied with the law, the public hearing on this ordinance was held on February the 23rd, 2021, at which meeting the ordinance was tabled, and the city council can now proceed with final adoption. I'm assuming the same thing, that we would like to have this tabled.
Councilman Delaney, is this the
Yes.
same
Yeah,
with Jerry Wallace and Lodi?
Yes.
So I'll make a motion to table this one.
Okay, motion by Mayor Rigoloso. Is there a second?
second, Joe.
Okay, by Councilmember Joseph Delaney. So this is the roll call on the motion to table. Councilmember Joseph Delaney,
Aye.
Councilmember Maslag,
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Aaron Delaney. Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. The ordinance is tabled. Right. Following entitled ordinance was introduced at a meeting held on February the 23rd, 2021. It was duly published. Copies were posted on the bulletin board at City Hall. Copies were made available to the general public, and having complied with the law, this ordinance was not read in full, and the city council can now proceed with the public hearing and final passage. This ordinance was also posted on the front and back doors of City Hall. Bond ordinance to authorize the rehabilitation of Jewel Street Playground in, by, and for the city of Garfield in the county of Bergen, state of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $500,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. So we need a public hearing at this time.
Okay. On this ordinance and this ordinance only, so you know what you're reading. If anybody wants to comment, we are using our bond to fix up Jewel Street Park. It's been 4 years overdue, so this is what this ordinance is about. Is there anybody raising their hand? Talk to my tech person here. No, I see no hands. Sure.
Okay, the mayor's closed the public hearing. Excuse me.
Okay.
On final adoption, Councilmember Joseph Delaney,
Aye.
Councilmember Maslag,
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Aaron Delaney. Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. The ordinance is adopted. The following entitled ordinance was introduced at a meeting held on February the 23rd, 2021. It was duly published. Copy was posted on the bulletin boards of City Hall and front and back doors of City Hall. Copies were made available to the general public, and having complied with the law, this ordinance was not read in full, and the city council can now proceed with the public hearing and final passage. An ordinance to amend Chapter 333-14 of the City Code of the City of Garfield entitled Exclusive Right to Connect a City Water Main, to add a connection for 2-inch water tap lines.
On this order, is our engineer on? Carl?
Yes, I'm on there.
We're having problems. Can you just explain briefly what this is, the connection for a 2-inch water tap line for anybody listening?
Sure. So thank you, Mayor. When we were asked to look at the water line rates that were in line with the city of Garfield, the 2-inch water line rate was missing. It was not part of the rates. There were 3/4 inch and 4-inch lines and items like that. So we reviewed the 2-inch line rate, compared it to neighboring municipalities, and also where it would stand within the city, and came up with the rate for the 2-inch line. It was reviewed by the water department as well and the city manager.
Thank you, Carl.
You're welcome.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll open it up to the. Forgot where I was. On this ordinance and this ordinance only, would anybody like to make a comment from the public? I'll wait 10 more seconds. I sip my coffee. Okay, true.
Okay, the mayor's closed the public hearing. So on final adoption, Councilmember Joseph Delaney,
Aye.
Councilmember Maslag,
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera.
Councilman Delaney said aye.
Councilmember Herrera said aye, or?
Aye, sorry.
Okay. Deputy Mayor Aaron Delaney. Mayor. Okay, Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. The ordinance is adopted. Okay. On first reading, we have bond ordinance to authorize the undertaking of water infrastructure improvements at various locations in, by, and for the water utility
of the city of Garfield in the county of Bergen, state of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $375,000 to pay the cost thereof, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. This ordinance is introduced by council members Aaron Delaney, Herrera, Maslag, and Rigoloso. On introduction, Councilmember Joseph Delaney.
Drew, I'm not sure what this water structure is for, this 375. Is anybody on that could answer that?
Yes, Councilman, I can. Troy?
Hello, Roy.
Roy
Good
Ricketts.
evening, everyone. That is an ordinance so that when we have a water break, something that is unforeseen, we will have the funds in place to do those improvements. Right now, we did this about 3 years ago, Councilman, and we've exhausted the funds. So about every 3 years, we put this money in place, basically for the emergency water breaks that occur.
Roy, what happens if the money's not used?
We keep it right there, Mayor. We can, at the end of the year, we can cancel by resolution if need be.
Thank you. You
Thank
okay,
you.
Joe?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
All right,
Is
Joe.
Carl good? Is Carl good with that? I'm you, Carl.
Carl, the truth.
Yes, yeah, Carl, the truth. Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. Yes, that works. This way, we have any emergencies, we have the funds available to support the emergency contract.
Excellent. Okay, thanks, everybody. Go ahead, give me an eye on that there, Drew.
Okay, Councilmember Joseph Delaney.
Give me an eye.
He votes aye. Councilmember Maslag.
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Aaron Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. The ordinance passes on first reading. Also on introduction, we have bond ordinance authorizing the undertaking of barrier-free improvements at the Garfield Public Library in, by, and for the city of Garfield in the county of Bergen, state of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $300,000 to pay the cost thereof, to appropriate a state grant, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
Okay, before, can someone in the, one of our professionals explain to the public what a barrier-free improvement to the Garfield Public Library is?
Yes, Mayor, I'll take that question.
Thank you, Tom.
So the city of Garfield was fortunate enough to obtain funding through the New Jersey Library Bond Act. So we received a grant. That grant will provide for barrier-free improvements in the library. There are bathrooms in the basement area that need to be redone. There's a small like service kitchen down there that needs to be redone. We've been doing improvements to the library steadily over the last couple of years. This will allow us to fund half the cost of the improvement will be funded by the state of New Jersey Library Bond Grant. The other half is funded by the city. The way we work this is we borrow all the money, we do the project, we complete the project, we submit the certification that the project is complete, and then we get the bond funds. So any questions, please? Otherwise, Mayor, I ask for your support.
Thank you, Tom. Hey, Drew.
Okay, on introduction, council members Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Councilmember Maslag.
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Aaron Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Usually we don't say anything, but I'm going to say, I just want to thank the trustees, director, and then our director, Mary Jo, the trustees of the library. They've been working hard over the COVID for the whole year. Again, the library up and running, people are going in there, and the library is looking good. It's getting updated slowly but surely. It's a great place to be and visit. I vote aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. The ordinance passes on first reading. On introduction, we have City of Garfield, Bergen County, New Jersey, calendar year 2021. Ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank NJSA 40A:4-45.14. The ordinance is introduced by council members Aaron Delaney, Herrera, Macelag, and Rigoloso. On introduction, Councilmember Joseph Delaney,
Aye.
Councilmember Macelag,
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Aaron Delaney,
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, with 5 ayes, the ordinance passes on introduction. We have on first reading, an ordinance to repeal and amend Article 3.
73.
No, it's Article 3 of Chapter 73
There you go.
of the City Code of the City of Garfield entitled Alcoholic Beverages. More particularly, Chapter 73-28 thereof entitled Consumption Prohibited, and Chapter 73-29 thereof entitled Violations and Penalties. The ordinance is introduced by council members Aaron Delaney, Herrera, Macelag, and Rigoloso.
This is, correct me if I'm wrong, Tom. This is about the BYOB in Garfield.
You're correct, Mayor. That's part of the 100-day list, our 100-day goal, first 100 days of the administration. This is to allow BYOB in established restaurant facilities in the city.
I'm excited about this ordinance. Thank you.
Okay, on the roll call, Councilmember Joseph Delaney,
Aye.
Councilmember Macelag,
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Aaron Delaney,
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. The ordinance passes on first reading. Also on introduction, we have an ordinance to amend and revise ordinance number 1268 of the City Code of the City of Garfield entitled an ordinance to regulate traffic and parking, more particularly the section designating stop sign intersections. This is an ordinance to create a 4-way stop intersection at Irving Place and Clark Street. The ordinance is introduced by council members Aaron Delaney, Herrera, Macelag, and Rigoloso. On the roll call, on first reading, Councilmember Joseph Delaney,
Aye.
Councilmember Macelag,
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Aaron Delaney,
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
I received a couple of phone calls on this today, so I'm going to still vote aye, but Bob is on, right? I can't see who's on or not. Is our attorney Bob on? All right. When it comes to our comments, I'd like to make a comment on this, but I'm going to vote aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. The ordinance passes on first reading. Finally, on first reading, on introduction, an ordinance to repeal Chapter 39, Article 10, Section 71 of the City Code of the City of Garfield entitled City Clerk as Assistant City Manager. The ordinance is introduced by council members Herrera, Macelag, and Rigoloso. On the roll call at first reading, Councilmember Joseph Delaney.
Repeal that chapter.
I think you should.
Drew, you're the best assistant city manager ever, Drew. You are.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I vote aye.
Councilmember Macelag,
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera,
I voted aye, but Drew, I think about you, for everything you've done for Garfield, and I still missing you, man. Okay. All right. Thank you for all your service.
Thank you, Councilmember. Deputy Mayor Aaron Delaney.
Drew, you will certainly be missed. For those in the public that are listening, our very dedicated city clerk will be leaving us this year. But with that being said, I vote aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Boy, Drew, they got you in the coffin already.
I know.
Man. Holy Jesus, I'm going to vote aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. The ordinance passes on first reading, and that concludes our written items for voting at this time.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, members of City Council. Mr. Mayor, just so you know,
Yes.
we did receive one email in regard to not council members, citizens and taxpayers. I don't know if you want me to report on it.
Sure. So we're going to open it up to citizens and taxpayers, and you can read that before we go to the public.
Okay,
right?
well, this is the,
Well, that is,
Yeah,
I
right.
mean, if I go live and I hear their voices.
I got you. Okay, this is from Kathy L. Viola, who writes, "Hello, Mayor and council members. I understand a plan is under review to explore the potential of a legal cannabis marijuana cultivation facility within the city of Garfield. I am concerned as coordinator of the Garfield Prevention Coalition with the safety of such an endeavor as it relates to our youth. With the legalization of marijuana for medical use, the perception of harm by youth decreased. The recent legislation regarding cannabis use for adults over 21, again, the perception of harm of marijuana use drops, encouraging more youth towards experimentation. As you make this decision, I would encourage you to look at both the pros and cons. Yes, it may be an income for the city by tax revenues. However, the ripple effects may eliminate that income by increased expenses for the city. As legalized marijuana use has been enacted in several states, 14 states plus Washington, D.C., have legalization, and 12 additional states have legal medical marijuana, HIDTA, has created reports following data trends post-legalization. I have included the most recent from California and Colorado, and they have greatest longitudinal data. New Jersey is covered under the NY/NJ HIDTA area, and we are considered a high-density drug trafficking region. This is what qualifies a geographic area as a HIDTA. To qualify for consideration as a HIDTA, an area must meet the following criteria. The area is significant center of illegal drug production, manufacturing, importation, or distribution. State, local, and tribal law enforcement agencies have committed resources to respond to the drug trafficking problem in the area, thereby indicating a determination to respond aggressively to the problem. Drug-related activities in the area are having a significant and harmful impact in the area and in other areas of the country, and a significant increase in allocation of federal resources is necessary to respond adequately to drug-related activities in the area. She goes on to cite different links, and then she says, if you are so inclined, I have attached information on an upcoming webinar discussing the legalization of cannabis. Additionally, if you decide not to move forward with this plan, I would encourage you to consider a renewal of the ban on establishments selling legalized cannabis within the city limits. The new legislation allows until August of 2021 to enact this type of city ordinance, and if not, it cannot be, reviewed for 5 years. I would be disappointed if we lost this window of opportunity to safeguard the health and safety of Garfield residents, especially our youth. And one more point for consideration is environmental, as the cultivation of marijuana is a high consumption of water resources. This article provides information on marijuana's carbon footprint. She provides a link, and then she concludes with, thank you for your attention and consideration of these concepts. Respectfully submitted, Kathy Viola, Garfield Prevention Coalition, the Center for Alcohol and Drug Resources.
All right, thank you, Kathy. Just so for the public to know, Kathy has been working with the city of Garfield for years. She runs the EPIC, stigma-free, drug-free coalition with the students of Garfield High School and Garfield Middle School, and she's great at her job. What she says is she does this for a living, so we appreciate that. True.
I suppose whoever other.
Is there anyone
citizens-
else? Well, we would answer all citizens and taxpayers' questions at the end when we open up the council comments. Is there any other resident that would like to speak? Ms. Raymond. You're on mute, Ms. Raymond.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I just would like to say, this is just the audio on this meeting and the way the format for this meeting. Why did you go off of Teams? Teams ran so well when we in the school district, we don't have a problem. And we have many, many more participants than you guys have. This format, last meeting, there was no visual. It was only audio. And I think Erin made a comment in the beginning of this meeting, and she was absolutely right. You couldn't hear anything that you and Drew were talking about. I couldn't understand it. So, I mean, maybe you ought to think about going back to Teams, because that at least was a little bit better than this. And I'm sure at some point soon, I see there's plastic up in the council chambers in front of each one of you. So I'm sure eventually soon you're going to be able to go back into the council chambers. All right, with that being said, Mayor, I want to know if you have any plans when you will be going back into City Hall for your meetings. I also would like to know, I wanted to ask at the last meeting, but I couldn't get into Zoom. Have you had any more meetings since the last council meeting with the shelter? Has our attorney been in touch with them? And if he was, what was decided? I mean, does your ordinance stay in effect? Is it going to be modified? Is it going to be changed? We would like to know. Your ordinance as it is, from what we understand from animal rights attorneys, is really tending toward animal cruelty. You can't do that. If we obey your ordinance, we could be in trouble after feeding these animals if we stop. That's considered animal cruelty. So we need some guidance. We need some direction. And like I said, I'd like to know if you've met with the shelter people, the shelter reps anymore. And is the city planning to pay Twin Oaks? They owe them $4,000. Now, if you stay with the shelter from now on, for here on in, it's free. After 2 years, I think you get free spay and then neutering. So I'd like to know what your plans are for that also. And Mayor, I know you had said you had a colony by your house of 30 cats. The last 3 weeks I've been riding up and down your street after work. And I really would like to see where, can you hear me?
I don't know what you just said. You said something about mayor and cats. I don't know.
You said you had a colony of 30 cats on your street?
No, I never said that.
You never said that?
No. I said I had a cat, my own cat.
No, I know you had your own, but you didn't say you had 30 cats.
No.
On your street. Well, then the audio at these meetings are really bad. Okay, then scratch that, Mayor. Oh, and I have one last question. I understand you're changing your housing inspections to be done during the day. Why would you do that? People are not home during the day, they work. As you can see, if you look at the statistics, the illegal apartment fines have gone way down. I don't know, there was an ordinance in place with a fine amount that was supposed to be charged. I understand sometimes it gets lessened, but the city has lost money on these illegal apartments, and there's still plenty of them. And I think we've learned that from the last few fires, that there's too many people sometimes living in one house, whether they're illegal apartments or not, too many occupants. So I don't know why you would change your inspector to during the day. That to me doesn't seem realistic. You're going to have a lot of people working. They won't be home. They won't be able to get entry. Other than maybe you're changing this inspector because you have somebody else in mind. I don't know what's behind this, but I would like an answer from somebody, please. All right, Mayor, that's it for tonight. Please answer my questions if you can.
Thank you. Is there another resident that would like to speak, or taxpayer? Joanne Stoddard is on Jewel Street. She was one of the residents that called me up about the parking signs. Is she on? Oh, Joanne, you are muted.
I'm unmuted.
Okay, thank you, Joanne.
Could you just state her name and address for the
Joanne,
record?
please state your name and address.
I'm Joanne Stoddard of 89 Jewel Street, Garfield.
STODDARD.
Yeah.
ST what?
ODDARD. Excellent. Okay. Go ahead, Joanne.
I don't know when, so I don't follow these meetings. I've been a resident of Garfield for almost 7 years, and I love it, but you guys put a stop sign up on Jewel Street today and took 4 parking spots away. And I'm a resident next to the fire that was at 91 Jewel Street in May. And the only reason we've had kind of a little bit of parking lately is because that building is empty. So by taking 4 spots away, you're really limiting parking for the residents. And it's a big problem. I mean, I can bring my phone out and show you guys like in person, because it's really a lot of yellow tape.
Joanne, so on the corner of Jewel and, is that Columbus?
Semmel.
Semmel, I'm sorry. Jewel and Semmel, they put a stop sign there.
They put it up this morning. They came knocking on our doors at 10 a.m. I had no notice from the city, no letter to the city that they were doing it, you know, and then now it's literally, I get that it's 50 feet for a stop sign, but maybe a speed table or something could work, because we used to have 2 spots in front of 89 and 91, or we used to have 3 and now we're down to 1. And then there was by the car house across the street, you could fit 3 cars, but now you can only fit 1 again. So I understand. I agree with, there should be something there. I have 2 kids. I 100% agree that we need to do something about that intersection, but the parking is really hard. And you know,
I think, we're going to deviate off this for a second so I could just answer your question. Maybe Bob could help out. It's a 50-foot yellow line on the corner, from what I was told. Bob, can we pass an ordinance to make it a 25-foot yellow line? The stop signs are important because people do speed down Jewel and Semmel, racing down it. So it is for the safety of the kids and people walking. But I guess there's regulations when you put a stop sign out there that they go up to 50 feet. But I was told that we could have we could put an ordinance in for 25 feet. That will bring back a car to 2 cars. Is there something like that we can do, Bob?
I will look into it, Mayor. I'm not sure if that's possible, but if it is, I'll advise you.
You're gonna have a lot of people working, they won't be home.
the one thing I did notice on a lot of the one ways is it's definitely 25 on one side and 50 on the right, but it's a one way again. So I don't know if that's grandfathered in from older, like when they put the stop signs in.
All right.
'Cause
We'll
I did notice that a lot of them have like 2 different levels.
We'll leave it to the council comments afterwards. But our attorney will look into maybe a 25-foot ordinance. Maybe that would help out with some parking. It's important that we do have those stop signs. I know our police are going around doing some other streets as well. So maybe that would help out. We can see where we're at, but we can have that discussion when we open up the council comments. Is there anything else?
I guess I'd just like to know how soon, because I can't have no parking. Is it gonna be the stop sign until your next council meeting or what? Because I love Garfield, but this is making me want to move out.
I understand. As soon as our attorney will find out, we can have our assistant city manager, that'll be you, Drew, reach out to you. Hopefully by the end of the week, we can find that out, or by Monday.
Yeah, because we already are losing spots from the construction. They have it all blocked off for their construction fence, so.
You have her phone number?
I can't even load groceries.
I do not have her phone. Oh,
I
wait.
get it. I will, that's all.
I don't want her to give it.
Yeah,
If you have it, that's fine. I'll get it from you.
I don't have her phone number. Joanne, I know you text me, but your number's not coming up. If you could text me your phone number and I could give it to our assistant city manager, This way I can give it to him so he can call you. Thank you.
I'll send it to you.
Thank you. Is there any other?
Mayor,
Yes.
other towns have done what you said, the 25-foot stop sign ordinance. So I think that would be a good solution. I believe there's only limitations in school zones.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. So that's something, that's a serious consideration. Thank you. Is there any other resident that would like to speak? Before we open up the council comments? Do we see anyone? No? All right, at this time, I will open it up to our council members' comments. Councilman Delaney.
Just quickly, I'd like to thank Jerry Wallace for getting that ordinance from Lodi with regards to the auto shops. Bob, I want to know if our attorney had received it. Did you receive that ordinance?
I have received it. I have received it, Councilman Delaney, and I'm looking at it to see what we can do from that ordinance for ours.
Okay, because I don't want to put that whole issue on hold with regards to the auto repair shops and auto sales. So I want to make sure that it stays active. I don't want it to fall by the wayside. So that goes for all our city employees who come to the quality of life meetings with regards to that. Drew, I was wondering, Drew, we spoke about the outdoor restaurant ordinance. Did we send a notice to every single restaurant in Garfield with regards to that?
We did not, because we were developing what to send out, and we conferred with the city manager and city attorney. And now that we have the passage of this resolution, we could send this out saying that call the city clerk's office, we'll have applications, we'll process it. The city manager had indicated that he and other inspectors, including the police, will go out and inspect each site.
I understand that, but I just want to make sure that even the restaurants who didn't partake in it last year will get notified that we are introducing this ordinance. So they're able to have outdoor dining if they want.
Okay.
All right.
It shall be done.
Okay. With regard to the stop signs, we need four-way stop signs. Speeding in the city of Garfield has been an issue for many years. And this seems to be something that could help it. I understand the parking issue, but and I realize that there is a used car lot right on that corner. I don't know if they're parking their vehicles on that corner, but maybe that's something that Drew, you could mention to our deputy chief to make sure he checks that area, make sure that used car lot isn't parking their vehicles, taking up residential parking on that street.
I will call him tomorrow morning.
All right, I'd like to mention I drove down Westminster Place in Lodi today, and every corner had a four-way stop sign. It was slow, but it was safe. You know, and I like to see that in Garfield. I'm glad we put one up on Shaw Street. We got one on Semel. We passed one today for Irving, but there's many other corners in the city of Garfield that need stop signs on MacArthur, all over the city. And I really want our police department to take the initiative. Here it's been, we spoke about it in January. So we're almost in April. So 4 months, and we got, I believe, two four-way stop signs. That's not enough. By the time the 4 years over with this council, we will have about 20 stop signs. So I would like to see our police department to move on this, along with the snow emergency route, Drew. So please remind them. Got it, Drew?
Got it.
All right. I'd just like to apologize to the residents of the city of Garfield for some of the conditions that I find the city in. This weekend, and it's on my nerves. I seen garbage all over the place. And it really got to me because we're better than this, and everybody bears responsibility. The residents of the city who puts garbage out, our department heads who don't follow through on making sure this garbage is picked up. And it's the time of year now, spring, we gotta concentrate on keeping the city of Garfield clean. I know our department heads are getting upset with my emails I constantly send to them, but they're going to be getting them. And until I see the problem rectified, I will continue to write emails. I will continue to be a pain in the butt with regards to the way our city looks. We could do so much better. And with what we have right, what I seen this past weekend is not acceptable whatsoever. I know there was garbage bags dropped off on River Road. There were blue bags, and I sent the picture. And I noticed as I took pictures of it, I noticed that one bag had some envelopes in there. If when we go to pick these up, if we check out the addresses on these envelopes, maybe these are the people who's putting the garbage out. We could trace it back. I'm not a cop, I'm not a detective, but sometimes I think outside the box. And that's not a bad way of finding out who's dumping these garbage bags out there. So relay that too, all right, Drew? You got a lot of relaying to do. And last but not least, I'd like to wish everybody, we have Palm Sunday coming up, a blessed holy season with Easter. Our rec department is doing a Easter event this weekend, and there's not much we could do with the pandemic, but at least we're trying to do something. I like to say thank you to the mayor and the event committee with the scavenger hunt this weekend. I watched it on YouTube, great event, because I had to work. My wife has this thing about paying a mortgage, and it was a great event. I'm disappointed in one person on the council actually took last place. I'm not going to mention no names, Pavel, but we got to do better, pal. With that, have a happy and holy Easter. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilman Delaney. Romy Herrera, Councilman Herrera, I apologize.
Thank you, Mayor. In the resolution to declaring solidarity with Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders is very important, especially in you and the things that have been coming to light around the world. We are living a post-season of free races, stimulated by existing xenophobia. It's time to heal the wounds and uniting our communities for a better future. This is a nation of immigrants. Garfield is a diverse city where you should not see the color of your skin and the language you speak, the religion you profess, and the place where you were born. So I'm very proud. I support these resolutions, and I hope we can see better times, not in Garfield, in the total world. In another topic, on behalf of the Herrera family, I want to thank you for all these prayers, messages, and being in these difficult moments for the pass away, my brother. I would like to thank you also, all Governor Phil Murphy, for taking the time to convey his condolences, and in the same time, giving him a wonderful tribute in the death of my brother. Also, thank you, Mayor, and the entire council, city manager, city clerk, and all the people who were present in these difficult moments. Thank you from my heart.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Maslag.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. And Councilman Delaney, we did not come in last place, just FYI, we came in fourth place, and we had a lot of fun. So thank you so much for Mayor and Events Committee for putting that really fun scavenger hunt on. And with that being said, I want to thank the Mayor and Council for standing in solidarity with the Asian community. I wrote the initial draft of the email the Friday before the shooting in Atlanta, because the issue of anti-Asian hate crimes has been growing throughout the year, and even before the pandemic. Since last March, anti-Asian hate crimes have risen 1,900% across the United States. So this is a new issue, something that has been growing, and I thank the Mayor and Council for standing in solidarity and standing up for the Asian community, and also declaring racism a public health crisis, which it definitely is. So thank you again. And in terms of Kathy, your comment regarding the cannabis ordinance, I definitely do hear you. I think public health is very important. I definitely admire the work that you've been doing in Garfield. And I think you're definitely right in terms of the perception and education of residents. I think it's very important that when we do move forward with this, and the state of New Jersey has gone on with the legislation regarding cannabis, but us as city have to do our due diligence and education, especially young people in Garfield. So I think harm reduction is a very important concept and really important in terms of educating residents, especially younger people, regarding the harmful effects that cannabis may pose to them. And I think as we move forward, definitely having a public health lens to the issue of cannabis is very important for responsible use. And also, I definitely want to thank the Mayor and Council for all the work that we've been able to do during the pandemic. It has been easy. We're not in person right now, but hopefully soon we will be. And with that being said, I definitely want to thank Darlene, our public health nurse, for all the work that she's been doing along with the COVID-19 task force. COVID is still a reality in the city, in the United States, around the world. So I definitely want to just thank her publicly on record for all the work that she's been doing throughout the pandemic. I know she's been working, very hard in terms of vaccinations, getting awareness out about different services available to Garfield residents. So I want to thank her and also the COVID-19 task force for all that they've been able to do during the pandemic. So with that, thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilman. Deputy Mayor Delaney.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. First, I'd like to start off by thanking those that allowed us to host the budget meetings with the department heads. I know it was never customary in the past, and it was something that I had requested. So I want to thank you for your flexibility, Roy, Mr. Dutch, and the department heads for doing so. As Mr. Dutch said in the beginning of our budget introduction today, we can amend the budget before adoption, which I do hope to do to decrease it just a little bit. I believe from those meetings, we were able to cut almost 100,000. So I want to thank the department heads that were willing and open to taking a cut. I just ask that they're as fiscally responsible as if, their budget for their department was their own dime. I know that some overspent in the past, but they will not be given a pass this year. And I know I'm most certainly not making friends with my requests of meetings such as these and overtime reports, which I'm sure it's annoying to some that I go through them with a fine tooth comb, but I feel that I have a responsibility and owe it to our residents, especially in these trying times. As I was going to say deputy mayor, I'm not used to that anymore. As Councilman Delaney said, we absolutely need a clean community. I've been seeing some things throughout the city that have frustrated me as well. So I would hope to schedule a spring cleanup in the near future. We've had some wonderful weather over these last few days. I believe Thursday is going to be beautiful. So hopefully we can get one of those on our calendars. Speaking of events, kudos to the events committee for all that they do, not only with the scavenger hunt, but every event that they put together. They do a wonderful job. One of the things that I just talked about is our budget and money. I know I've seen that a lot of people have been asking in regards to the stimulus money that municipalities anticipate getting. I do not believe that we've received guidance from the state on what or how that can really be spent. So please be patient. I would like to see it spent on, again, we're not sure how it can be spent, is to ease property taxes first and foremost, make up for lost revenues, support our local businesses, and definitely some infrastructure improvements, to our departments. It's not a cure-all for them to overspend. We're still in troubling times, and we need to be, again, fiscally conscious. Now, with that being said, before we end, I do believe, and I may have missed it, that Ms. Raymond asked our attorney a question in regards to discussing with the animal shelter, and I'm sorry if he did answer and I missed. Thank you, as Pavel said, to Kathy for giving us that information. Right now, we're in beginning stages to weigh our options. We don't even know if there's any zone for us to have something like this in the city. So beginning stages, and we will definitely use the information that you gave us. So thank you, Kathy, and to the EPIC team. And there's one more thing that I wanted to note before leaving. Today is National Puppy Day. So to all the puppies out there, my puppy that's currently eating my shoe, she says Happy National Puppy Day to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Okay, first of all, let me answer some of the questions that were asked. For City Hall meetings right now, we have no time frame of opening up City Hall for meetings. City Hall is still closed to the courts. That's going to be our guideline, is when the courts are opened up, then City Hall will be opened up. So that's for the guideline. For the shelter, what has been decided, we have our attorney speaking to the Bergen County Animal Shelter representative that was on to our meeting at our work session 2 weeks ago, and they're discussing it. I know our city attorney reached out to me, I think a day ago or 2 days ago with an email, and he wanted to discuss some things. We haven't gone together yet to discuss it, but they're still working it out with the TNR. As far as the pay for Twin Oaks, our city manager, Tom Dutch, do you know anything about Twin Oaks? One more time, Tom. No, it's not working. Nothing? Okay, they say you're not muted, Tom. If you get it working, we'll come back to you. I believe Tom will look into the Twin Oaks. I can't even speculate if it was been paid or not. As far as the housing inspector during the day, we just moved the nighttime housing inspector down to a daytime housing inspector. We've gotten complaints about people coming to their house at night. So we just thought it's best that we go to a daytime housing inspector. Many municipalities have daytime inspectors, not nighttime inspectors. So that's where we're going. We just moved the person from night to day. Okay. Let me just go here. Like Council Deputy Mayor said, Delaney, for the stop signs, our city attorney will look into the 25 feet. Other municipalities are doing it. So let's see if we can do that as well. BYOB, I'm excited about the BYOB for the restaurants that will qualify that. You know, they can have residents come inside or guests come inside actually and bring their own, bottle. This may, bring more business to the city of Garfield as well as that local establishment. We are having a carnival on April 28th. Yes, April 28th to May 2nd, I believe. We're looking into that. So hopefully we can get that going up. I know there's CDC guidelines going on there. Our police are looking into that, but we do know that there are other municipalities that are having carnivals as well. Our neighboring municipality, Saddlebrook, is having a food truck rally. So, there should be no reason why we cannot get this carnival up and running. I want to thank our events committee for their scavenger hunt. It was a big success, and we're looking for other scavenger hunts, more family friendly, maybe even adult friendly. So we're looking into that. Just keep looking into the events committee website. We talked about the stop signs. Now, I do agree with Deputy our Councilman Delaney that, where there are no stop signs for 2 to 3 blocks, everybody's speeding down the road. So, it is a big push that we do get stop signs. I know some residents will have to feel the brunt of no parking, or they may lose a spot. But, again, I'll go back to what I said earlier, 50 feet is a lot. So hopefully 25 feet would be a good compromise. The weather is changing. Deputy Mayor alluded to it. Councilman Delaney alluded to it, and we're looking for the quality of life. So please, if you're a worker in Garfield and you see something, let us know. An overflowing garbage on the ground, these windy days, things fall over. This is our town, and to see garbage being, all over the place. You know, we need to know. If we don't know, then we can't let the right people know to go by and pick it up. You know, there should be no reason why garbage is overflowing in the barrels. There should be no reason why the cardboard boxes, you know, are blown across the street and this and that. If they're in the street, you know, it's our responsibility and we need to pick it up. You know, if you're working in the town, you should take pride in the town. You know, and if you don't take pride in the town that you're working in, then maybe you should find yourself a new job. You know, I'll just be as blunt as that. There should be no reason why we cannot stop the car. I stop the car and I pick up stuff. There should be no reason why, as a city worker, you cannot lend a hand to do things like this. You know, it is about the quality of life. And then they'll complain that not the deputy mayor, that Councilman Delaney is sending out emails and vicious emails out. He's not sending out anything that's bad. He just wants the city cleaned up. You know, he's been here all his life. He has a right to drive down Midland Ave, Harrison Ave, out Water Lane, River Road, and see a clean street. When I go into these other neighborhoods, I see clean streets. There's no reason why the city of Garfield shouldn't have clean streets. But then when we send an email out, we're vilified. You know, we're pains, we're this, we're that. You know, what do they want? You know, a clean quality of life. The residents, the families of the city of Garfield deserve that. When they go to a park on River Road, in Century Field, and you know, in Malcolm Ave, those garbages should be dumped out on Passaic Street. People walking up and down Passaic Street, those garbages should be dumped out on a regular basis. You know, that's the job. That's what we have. That's what we have, you know, employees to do. If you can't do it, then, you know, it's time we find new employees. I don't know what else to say. You know, it's embarrassing that, you know, garbage, you got to sit there for 4 days before, you know, a councilman has to make a phone call to get it done. You know, so come on, let's all chip in. The weather's changing. We know the weather's changing. More people are going to be going outside. They've been hammering at it for a year now. You know, they've been locked down. They've been, you know, stuck in their backyards. And now it's finally the weather's changing. People are getting the vaccine. You know, they're going to be going out. So it's our job as, you know, officials, it's our job as employees to make sure this town is the right way. You know, there's pride in this town. So please, let's all work together. You know, I want to thank, you know, when we're talking about working together, I want to thank Greater Bergen. You know, again, they're coming up with a beautiful grant to beautify the city, Passaic Street, with planters all up and down the street. So thank you. And I hope we can get that up and running. I want to thank our Commissioner, Tracy Zer, for securing 1,000 meals. 1,000, think about this. Every Saturday, we get 1,000 meals from now to Memorial Day. Every Saturday, from restaurants out in Ridgewood and in that neighboring town. Hot cooked meals, burgers, chicken franchise, pasta, roasted chicken and rice, empanadas, 1,000 meals. We're feeding every senior in the housing with at least 2 meals, and we still got about 500 meals to give to residents that will come by. And I need to thank, you know, and this can't be done without, you know, our commissioner securing this to be delivered to us hot. So for those volunteers, wherever they are, thank you. But there are volunteers from Strangers Helping Strangers to get this, bag this, secure this, and get this out, as well as, you know, Marty Geisler, the housing commissioner or director, and getting his people to pick these meals up, 500 meals to 600 meals, and going from every senior housing, knocking on their door and giving them a meal. That's unbelievable, as well as our veterans in the veteran housing. They get their meals as well. So, you know, this is great. And, you know, it's going through all the way through April and May. I got to thank Deputy Mayor Delaney, you know, about going to these budget meetings, just so everybody understands. You know, the COVID, this pandemic has taken a hit on Garfield. You know, so everybody across the board has taken cuts. Every department has taken cuts. We had employees taking some cuts in their pay. All right. We had events canceled. You know, we had certain programs canceled. You know, so everybody's feeling the burden of this. But because of these cuts, you know, I got to thank you for understanding it. But because of these cuts, this is keeping every city employee working. You know, I mean, I know some people may have not been happy that they're department got cut a couple more thousand than another department and everything like that. But, you know, it's the need. It's the need. Everybody's belt needed to be tightened. Everybody needed to take these haircuts this year. Next year is a different story. But this year it's important, you know, and I know, you know, Deputy Mayor, you know, she took some unwanted hits about this, and it's unfair. It's unfair that she's taking these hits. You know, she took it upon herself to, you know, look into these cuts and look into these budgets. It's never been done before. There was never a pandemic before. It didn't need to be done. But if we allow this to go, guarantee you, there'll be some layoffs. There'll be some layoffs out there. So it's either laying off an employee or making a couple, tightening the belts and making some cuts here. You know, so every department had to take a haircut. A couple employees had to take a haircut. You know, events and activities and programs, you know, everything across the board. Just because you got CARES Act money didn't mean that was, you know, an open vault and we get to spend freely. That's not the case. That's not the case at all. And yet we're still maintaining the city. The city's still going. The city's still going strong, better than a lot of these other municipalities. Believe me on that. So, you know, it's unfair that, you know, she had to take the hit on this. And while, you know, I do know that our department heads understand it. It's just that, you know, other people didn't understand it, you know, on the outside. Well, you know, I guess that's the position that we are in. And let me see, I think that's it. You know, we have the Easter coming up, you know, Palm Sunday. We have the Easter bunny coming in this Saturday at the rec center, you know, so make sure you get your little kids, get themselves an Easter basket. I think it's a drive-through, you know, everybody will be safe. You know, the weather, like I said, the weather's changing. Things are happening. You know, we're on a positive side now. You know, we're hoping that our redevelopment starts to take off now that the weather's changing and our budget is passed. You know, then our redevelopment, you know, Monroe Street, the tracks, the River Road, the second phase of the River Road Park from Monroe to Passaic Street, that gets to be starting. We could get that up and running. So it'll look like just like what it is from Outwater Lane to Lanza Ave, that beautiful park over there. We could get that park up and running. You know, Jewel Street be up and running soon. You know, there's a lot going on in the city of Garfield. We have our basketball court that may be happening hopefully by the end of May or the beginning of June or something like that. So there's a lot of positive going on there. And, you know, I want to thank our city manager for, you know, staying on track and get all this going on, as well as dealing with this pandemic. So thank you, everybody. And with that said, you know, everybody stay safe. And, you know, let's keep moving forward. Let's keep the city of Garfield moving forward. I thank everybody, and meeting adjourned.
Happy Easter.
Motion to adjourn.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. Do I got a motion?
Happy
I make a
Easter.
motion.
Romy and Pablo.
Okay, got it. All in favor, say aye. Aye, your 5 ayes.